obviously you're very genetically gifted, but you took minimum gear. Your food was on point. People, I've heard a lot of people just saying, "Oh, yeah, it's just fucking gear, it's just genetics." Touch on a little bit of your training, how you used to train, because you've told me a few stories about your training, and
I used to go
what people think is hard is not even your warm up. You've told me it's to be like 1,000 rep set on the legs.
That was like a bet I had. You had a bet with a guy at the gym. It was just like, we only started off with 2 plates aside. It's like, I bet you can't do 200 reps. I'm like, okay, I'll do 200 reps. And then ended up being roughly, the total weight was close to 500 pounds when we just put the other plates on. But yeah, it just started going, I got the 200. His name was John Kaler. He's on Facebook, and that used to run the Max Muscle. And he'd just be like standing there going, bet you can't do 400 now. I'm like, okay, let's do 400. So I could just I wasn't allowed to lock it back on, so I couldn't take my feet off the plate. I could do repping and then just stop for maybe 10 seconds, get my breath and that. But sometimes stopping was worse, because once you stop and start again, it's like, oh shit. But yeah, I just kept going. Then you get to a point where, I think I mentioned the Dean once, where my legs just sort of went numb. They went from a burning stage. Like, whenever I trained and things hurt, because I used to train with Platz a lot and he'd make things hurt. It's almost like you go to that zone where you're there, but you're not there. You get this tunnel vision, you block everything else out. And that's what it was like. My legs got to the point where it hurt. And like, well, okay, it's not going to kill me. I'll just keep going. But then it went numb, which was the weirdest feeling, because my legs are numb. And it's like, okay, I can feel my feet on the plate, but in between my feet and my waist, it's like nothing's there, but I'm still pushing it. So it ended up being about 1,000 or 1,017. I'm like, fuck it, that's enough. I'm not doing any more. But when I used to train with Tom, he used to do crazy shit like that. Like I do it with Aaron, where he would do as many leg extensions as you could, and then he'd start, where he'd pull it up and then start pushing down. You've got to resist against him. He'd do like 5 of them, and Tom would get right on. He'd put his hands on it, then he'd put his knee on it and start pushing down. He'd be like, try and kick it in my face. I'm like, well, if I fucking could, I would. And as he's got his head down, I'm like, this fucking. But it'd be like even hack squats. We'd only go maybe sometimes 4 or 5 on the hack squat. Then we'd go back to the 3 plates, and we'd do the same thing, as many reps as we can. And then he'd make me bring it down halfway like a static hold and just hold it there. And then as I'm holding it there, he'd start pulling on it. And as he's pulling down, I'd have to try resist against it. Then I'd come up, get my breath, go back down halfway. Then he'd start pulling on it again. Just crazy stuff like that. Because Tom, I always joke with Tom, I'd say, make a comeback, Tom. And Tom's like, no. He goes, I couldn't. He goes, because Tom's one of those guys, he goes, once I get to the gym, he goes, once I get into that zone, he goes, I just go crazy. My mind goes. I remember doing calves with him, and Tom's, when you talk about going to failure, people are just like, okay, I can't do any more. You're doing laterals with Tom, you'll be doing laterals like this. This is why sometimes you go fucking cold waiting for your set. Tom would be like this. You get to here. You get to here. You get to the point where he's just going.
It was still trying.
And fucking 10 minutes has fucking gone by. And when's it my set? Calves is the same. He'll be doing calves, doing it fully. As they burn, he starts doing the quicker ones, and then it gets to the point where it'd be like this on the thing, and I've got to hold his toes and just pull him forward. He just doing those little fast ones like this. I think, but he just got that mindset where he'll just go fucking into that zone and go crazy. And I've always been that way. I've liked high volume. People are like, well, that's overtraining. I'm like, look, as long as you get your meals in and you get your resting and stuff, I never believed in overtraining. I just love to train. I've always, people set a thing up like, you can only do this much for chest. And I'm like, if I've always just listened to the body, very instinctive, like Tom was. If you're having a great chest day, why limit yourself? If you've done incline press and you've done flies and flat this and some pec deck, you're like, you know what, I've still got energy, I've still got a great pump, then fucking keep going. Don't just say, well, I've done 15 sets, that's enough, I've got to stop now. If you're having a great workout, if it goes for 2-3 hours, fucking let it go for 2 or 3 hours. I used to talk to Arnold and them when I was doing cardio. He's like, why are you doing cardio? I'm like, oh, he goes, in their day, they just train longer, because you're burning calories training. Sometimes they train 2 or 3 times a day, have a morning workout, go and eat, go lay at the beach, sleep, come back, train, go back and come back again at night time. And, they didn't have a problem with thickness and muscle. It's just, I don't know, people today, they want to get big and they want to look a certain way, but they're getting fucking lazier. They rely too much on drugs. And it's like, any more than 45 minutes overtraining. I'm like, okay, I don't believe that, because by the time I even warm up sometimes, I remember when I used to do biceps, my first 5 sets could just be warm-ups before I got to the 5 or 7 working sets of barbell curl. And they're like, well, 45 minutes. I said, you want to be the best at this sport. You want to be a pro bodybuilder. It's like, pick me a sport, gymnastics, tennis, golf, boxing. show me the number one guy in the world who only trains 45 minutes a fucking day. It's like, once you became Mr. Olympia, like Phil Heath or Dorian Yates, once you've got that foundation muscle, then you're huge. They could probably just go to the gym for 45 minutes now and keep that muscle, as long as they do something. But if you want to be the best and build up, it's just like, you want to do it, but yet they want to be in the gym and get out quick. They're like, well, what do you do for the rest of the day now? Just sit around and eat and hang out. But it's like, no, you got to bust your ass. If you want to be a champion, you got to bust your ass. And sometimes it can take hours. I'm sure if you've got jobs, you've got limited time, fine. But in that time, you got to train the best you can. But people used to say to me when they say, what do you do for biceps? I'm like, I do the same as you, barbell curl, dumbbell curl. Yes, I got good genetics for arms, but I do high volume. I do at least 20 sets minimum. People are like, well, that just works for you. That just works for everyone. I said, no. I said, I've had training partners who don't have great genetics, and they used to be in the belief of, I say to them, what do you do for arms? Oh, 6 or 8 sets. I'm like, why that? Well, when you do back, your biceps get worked. I'm like, yeah, well, when you do them back, they do get a little bit of indirect work, same as if you're doing chest or shoulders, your triceps get a little bit of work. But that doesn't mean when it comes time to train biceps or triceps, you don't punish them as hard as anything else. If you want them to grow, you got to punish them just as hard as you would legs, chest, or anything else. So they all started doing the higher volume, and their arms grew a couple of inches. So it's not just, I can say, well, that just works for you, Lee. It's worked for other people too. So
it's always these big, fat, bloated guys that are telling you that it's wrong and you're doing it all wrong. And then when they diet for a show, if they get in condition, the bloat just disappears to nothing and there's no real muscle. But I'm a big believer using heavy weights and compounds and stuff like that. But the same as you, it's all about heavyweight and volume. So I do a lot of drop sets and shit like that, and I just abuse the muscle way past failure. And the same, I get told I'm doing it wrong. There's some guy with twig legs telling me that I'm training legs wrong. I remember talking to you there once, and I was really chuffed. And one achievement one day that I had like 5 plates aside on the squat bar, and I did 20 fucking reps, and nobody in the gym is touching anywhere near that. And then you're like, oh yeah, me and Tom used to do that on a regular basis. That's
Tom, that's the thing though. If we did squats, Tom would make me do at least. If we're doing 3 plates, it'd be around the 20 reps at the 30. But then if we've got the 5 plates, I'd always like to go between 15, 20 reps. And generally towards the end too, we'd just be like, oh, I remember you get to 15 and not only your legs burning, your back's fucking tight, and you think I haven't got any more in me. But if Tom Platz is standing behind me, I'm like, I got to fucking do this. I remember the very first leg workout I had with Tom. I probably woke up at 1 o'clock that morning. I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. Like my whole central nervous system was like almost shutting down, because this is the first leg workout with Tom Platz, and he's giving me all those fucking negatives and this and that. I'm showing it's not hurting. I'm pushing. And then we're at Redondo Beach Golds, and there's stairs going down. End of the workout, I'm like dancing down the stairs.
Jelly Tom's legs,
like,
cramping.
I was actually dancing like normal, like, yeah, that was fun. Right. Tom's like, you're not fucking human. If that was me, I'd be crawling out of here. I'm like, no, I'm fine. After we went and had something deep, by the time I got to the car, I'm like, but in front of Tom, I just like, that didn't fucking hurt me. But that night, I woke up about 1 a.m. and the whole body's like trembling and shaking, because I think my whole nervous system was fucking shot, because I could have stopped fucking 30 minutes into. But, if you got Tom Platz pushing down on the thing and doing this, I'm like, fuck you ain't going to beat me. Oh my God, it was fucking painful and terrible.
Did you ever get like any severe cramps in your legs and stuff?
All the time.
Because I've had it for like 6 to 8 hours of cramping, crawling.
I've had it like where it feels like it's actually going to just tear off the bone. It cramps and just gets tighter and tighter. Mine was more like sometimes I'd go after a leg workout. There's no fuck. I got to go to the grocery store. We're driving. As soon as I get out the car and step up,
in public. Yeah, you're on the floor, crawling around in public.
I'm hanging onto the car. I'll be hanging onto the car door. One leg's cramped. I'm trying to straighten it out. And just when you stand up, the other leg goes. Now you've got 2 fucking cramped legs. I'm crouched down near a car. People think I'm trying to steal the fucking car because I'm down. People are like, are you okay? I'm like,
Do you know how satisfying this is for me to hear this? Because nobody understands when I have like a 6-hour cramp and you're in a fucking restaurant or in a car park on the floor. People are coming over to see if you're okay or rolling around. No, it's just a cramp. And you can't physically do anything, can you? But crawl.
I did it once, even I had the leg work. I did it once. I was did a hamstring work. I had to fly somewhere, and I was in the middle seat. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to get out of here. And I'm trying to think, I'll get out. So I'm trying to curl my leg back to get out. Fucking hammy just went whack on it. And I finally get down to the back of the plane. And I'm just standing near the toilet. The stewardess is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, At this point, I got fucking sweat running down my face because it's fucking killing me, and it won't let go, and it's just getting tighter and tighter. And you can't talk. You're just like,
My missus is like,
when you finally get that little relief, and you're like, it's gone, and you just go to stand up and.
I'm on the floor, and it's like I'm a pregnant woman giving birth. I'm like,
I know,
punching it.
Down, it just gets tighter and tighter sometimes. You swear it's going to tear off the bone, and you can see it. I remember once that happened when I was doing legs with Tom, but it wasn't my legs. I got to the 20th rep, and I felt like I was actually around the 15 mark. I said, I feel sick. He's like, come on, get the reps. I feel sick. I'm like, okay. Because I was getting in contest shape, I was a bit depleted. And I said, okay, I finally got the 20. I said, get the garbage bin. He brings the garbage bin over, and I fucking hurl in it. The next thing, my whole fucking abs just cramp. So they're cramped up there, sticking out. I'm like hurling like this. And now my abs are cramped. I can't breathe. So I'm like trying to breathe air in at the same time. My fucking abs are sticking out here and there. I'm like, oh, fuck me there. This is terrible. Same as if you ever had those leg workouts, you're doing your misses from behind doggy style, and the fucking hammy goes. She gets that one big thrust when the hammy cramps, but after that
she flies off the bed.
But then because the hammy's cramped that much, you go, come back here. I got a cramped hammy, but I'll shove this marshmallow in your fucking letterbox. Get back here. It's a real mood killer when it happens, eh?
Oh wow, yeah. So take away from that then, Lee has spoken. If you're not training to the point that you can't walk and you're cramping up and your dick goes soft when you're trying to shake, you're not training hard enough.
Yeah. Well, favourite thing I used to do arms. I used to do arms at so much volume on arms. I used to love coming home and just flexing the bicep till it cramped. And then when it cramped, I'd actually hold it there like this, and you'd have to straighten your arm out like that. But actually try and get it to cramp. I'd be like, here it comes, whack, and I'd make it hold it there. And the next day, if you had a cramp, the next day, you feel so sore. So if I ever had a shitty workout, I'd cramp the muscle. So the next day I'm like, I must have trained it hard. It's very sore.
Tear it off the bone, but yeah, it's cool. I trained.
Yeah. But luckily, touch wood, I've never, when I was competing, I think once or twice on stage, I got a calf cramp. You get down into a pose, and all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, these people are like, oh, you're always smiling. I said, that wasn't a smile. That's just a look of grimace on my face because it's cramping. Or the worst thing is too, you might not be cramping. You get caught out in the call out, and they might say calves and abs and thighs, and you go to flex and it goes to cramp, and people are like, why weren't you flexing up there? It's like, because I was fucking cramping. I couldn't flex it, you idiot. You're trying to, and you're thinking that the main time I got to flex my quad, I can't, because when you go to do it, you can just feel the fibers getting ready to go. You think if it goes, it's locking on, and I'll be stuck up here
on the floor. I guess some little bad check ones now and then as well. And trying to ride your car, and every time you turn one way, it cramps up. You're like,
what about when you're just watching TV and that happens? You just hold the remote, all of a sudden it goes. You think to yourself, now is that a cramp or is this a fucking heart attack coming on? You're not sure. You go to the doctor. Have you ever had chest pain? Yeah, I get chest pain all the fucking time. I said, I wouldn't know if I was having a heart attack or not. I don't know if it's from training chest or I'm actually having a heart attack. I said, I'll be the last one to know. I'll be on the floor because you get those little pains here and there, or it just starts getting this twitch. Like, is that the muscle twitching, or am I having like bad fucking arrhythmia down there under the fucking, with the heart pumping? I remember the one time back in the day when Clenbuterol was the big thing.
Oh, it's horrible.
I used to take the powdered one because I could always just measure a teaspoon, and even then you'd be fucking eating and your fucking fingers go like you got fucking Parkinson's disease, like fucking this. And you ever did it where you go to yawn and
you cramping your jaw, just cramping up.
Yeah. Like, I'm having a fucking stroke like Kirk Douglas. It's like I'm fucking like that. But then everything would just be cramping, so I thought, fuck this. But then the liquid one came out. I'm like, well, how do I judge this? And one day I took that and I had the fucking shakes. And I'm watching TV and I'm like, if that fucking cunt doesn't stop playing his drums next door, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's my fucking heart. So was that fucking loud and shit? I thought the cunt was playing drums next door. I thought it was fucking you know, that fucking Toto song, Africa, fucking was playing. All I heard was these fucking drums.
I did some Clen once, and the normal one that I normally take, it was probably, I don't know, 20 to 40 milligram, whatever it is, dosage wise. These particular ones that I got on, and I was like, be careful with these ones, they're strong. Just maybe snap a tablet in half or something. They were like double or triple dosed. It's this tiny little fucking tablet. What's that going to do? Ooh. Drive into Birmingham. It's about 40-minute drive. I got 20 minutes into my drive. I got stuck in traffic, and I had to get out of my car because my whole fucking body cramped. I was just locked in this position. I rolled on the fucking floor in the middle of the road. All these cars, and I was like, I can't fucking move. This is cramping up. And I finally got back in my car. I just turned around, went home. I just sat in a fucking dark corner of my house, shaking. When's it gonna stop? When's it gonna stop? It's fucking disgusting.
Well, they make you sweat. I remember when Paul Dillett lived with me, he would take Clenbuterol and a fair bit of stuff because they like the little tablet ones, and he would take a fair few of them. And I like, you going to do cardio? I was like, no, I'll just take more Clen. And he'd be sitting there. I'd come home from the gym. He'd be sitting on the couch. He'd always call me son. He goes, son, turn the air on. It's fucking hot in here. I'm burning up. So I turned the air on. But speaking of, I never had that with Clen like you experienced.